Hi everyone. Hello. I'm so grateful to be here with you today, especially since our oldest is sick today. He's home, and I'm grateful to my husband for taking good care of him and letting me come to my office so I can hang out with you for a little while. And today I'm going to be talking about how you can create another honeymoon in your marriage, even if you've been married or together for a really, really long time. And what differentiates this honeymoon from the first honeymoon or sort of phase in your relationship is that when I talk about this kind of a honeymoon, it's one that's much more enduring. It's not temporary. It doesn't need to fade. In fact, I believe it's truly possible for you to have an even deeper connection now that you're together for a long time than you did in the beginning when you were idealizing each other and sort of feeling infatuated with each other. And not that those feelings aren't real, they're very important and they drew you to each other in the first place. But I really want to spend some time talking with you about how you can recreate some of those feelings and deepen them even beyond what they were initially. And I truly, truly believe that that is possible for each and every one of you. So I'm going to talk about a couple different ways that I see couples who've been together for a long time be able to nurture and deliberately and intentionally cultivate another honeymoon phase in their relationship, and one that they can really trust and rely will continue to nourish them and inspire them and stay with them for the long run. And it's okay even if you've had, some rough patches or maybe even months or years of times where your relationship has felt more dull or maybe even disappointing in some ways, because these couple of things that I'm going to share with you can really make all the difference. And what I find that all the movies and the media leaves out when they talk about happily ever after is they don't tell us that our happily ever after will inevitably include times when we're really frustrated, when we feel very lonely, when we're triggered. That's part of a relationship. And I truly am finding for myself and the people that I have the honor of supporting in their marriages and relationships, that it's actually our ability to respond to those difficult feelings, to get comfortable enough with discomfort, that makes the difference between cultivating more connection or just generating and recreating the same suffering and disappointment and disillusionment that we may have suffered from in our past, whether it's in a past relationship or in our childhoods. So if you're joining me here live, let me know that you're here with me. I'd always like to know you're here with me. And feel free to comment in the comments below. You can type in live or replay, or you might be getting this in my newsletter, so you can hit reply and let me know if any of this resonates with you, if you're listening through my newsletter, or that link rather. So let's dive in. So let me know if you've ever, and I've asked this before, but I think, it definitely warrants asking this question again. If you've ever been hurt by something and that pain just gets compounded and hurts even more because you feel like your partner either doesn't get you, is dismissive, is blaming you for being hurt in the first place, or just doesn't get you. Give me a 1 in the comments, whether you're on the replay or watching me live or watching this later. Let me know if you can relate to that experience. Okay, and the reason that I'm asking is because in every single time that you get triggered or that there's a conflict, there's a hidden opportunity for growth and connection. And it's those people who know how to transform that inevitable disappointment and conflict into more understanding, more compassion, a deeper appreciation for their partner and for their own feelings, that ultimately, are able to have enough of those experiences, enough of the time to really cultivate a deep, deep, deep love for each other, and to feel supported and seen and heard in their connection with their partner. So let me know if you can relate to that experience, and if you've ever been able to to shift some of that energy, that negative energy of disappointment, into an opportunity to be better understood or to understand your partner more generously. And let me know how you did that and what helped you. So I'm going to go through 4 different ways that you can really do this more of the time, that you can use conflict, inevitable conflict, and disharmony in your relationship to transform that into opportunities for further growth and connection and a deeper love, an unshakable bond with your partner. So number 1 is really, it's kind of what I said before, it's really getting comfortable and accepting that, you know, every happily ever after has inevitable times where, you know, you'll disappoint your partner, or they'll feel like, you know, they're falling short, or you'll feel like they're disappointing you or upsetting you or triggering you. And actually, the more connected you become, the more emotionally dependent on each other you become, the more likely you are to, you know, to get triggered and to get upset because you care so much, right? So that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? But the more you're able to make room for feelings, for any big feelings, especially the most uncomfortable ones, the better you'll be able to move through some of these challenges more gracefully, and to restore that trust or build that trust that you can get to the other side when conflict comes up, and that you can that there's, you know, there's a golden pearl for you and your partner to discover on the other side, and that this process in and of itself can be so gratifying, right? How many of us, you know, yearn to be understood, and how rewarding is it to be understood even when we think that we can't be, and especially by the person that we really yearn to get that from. Okay, so making room for feelings, and especially making room for uncomfortable feelings, that's number 1. So if someone wants to go ahead and type that in when you're watching, that would be great. The second thing is really knowing and trusting, accepting that any conflict that comes up, anytime you're triggered or your partner is triggered, is actually an opportunity. It's an opportunity to understand something, to sensitively attend to some part of you or them that needs empathy, that needs to grow, that needs to be seen, that needs to be lovingly witnessed, and to really trust that takes courage, because I'm asking you to trust it and to have faith before you get to that point where you know it's going to work out. But just hear me out on this, and you can experiment and play with this and see what happens. You know, you can notice what changes, or what would change if you knew that whatever it is that you're arguing about or upset about, you know, that you would have more of what you need and approach it that way. Which brings me to number 3. So number 1 was making room for uncomfortable feelings and having the courage to lean into difficult feelings rather than avoiding them or allowing that conflict to short circuit your opportunity to get closer with each other. That was number 1, making room for big feelings. Number 2 is understanding and accepting that inevitable conflicts and being triggered are your secret opportunities to grow. Those are invitations to get closer to each other rather than to get stuck feeling further apart. That's number 2. And number 3 is being able to hold on to an energy of trust, of understanding, of curiosity, or as I like to call it, staying in the we, right? Being we instead of me. Being an us, being together, holding on to that connection, even if momentarily you're feeling disconnected. So being able to kind of surrender your own centrality and to trust that there's a lesson here for both of you, that you both may have contributed to the upset, and that there's something that's really calling your attention for both of you to understand and to learn from and to grow from. So, and what else is another thing that's really important about being able to staying in that energy of trust is that your partner will pick up on it, right? If you, even if you say the kindest words, but you say it in a tone that's critical or harsh or skeptical or sarcastic, your partner will pick up on it. He or she is a smart human being, and we pick up on energy and intention behind the words, right? So be really careful and kind of check. You can scan yourself and see what's your come from energy. Are you looking to blame? Are you looking to retaliate? Are you looking to hurt your partner? Because if you are, then it's likely to escalate that argument. If you're able to hold onto or recover an energy of trust, of giving your partner the benefit of the doubt, of recognizing that it's so important to first calm your own and your partner's nervous system before you can get to any solutions, that you need to sort of help each other regulate your arousal, as we say in psychology, so that you're not in this like alarm state of survival mode or fight, flight, or freeze. Because in that state, we're not receptive. We can't take anything in. We can't process information. We can't think creatively. We can't even hear our partner accurately when we're in that fight, flight, or freeze mode. When our nervous system gets dysregulated like that, we actually anticipate that there's going to be another threat, and we're more likely to mishear or misperceive our partner. And there's actually a lot of research that demonstrates that happens to us. So the first thing you need to do is restore that energy of trust. Help your partner know that you want to understand them, that you're not against them, and really help yourself come from that place of just wanting to understand without needing to change anything or each other. That will help both of you stay in a more receptive state, and it'll make it more likely that what you do say or offer will be well received by your partner. So that's number 3. So number 1 is making room for difficult feelings. Number 2 is understanding that any conflict or feeling of being triggered is actually an opportunity for more growth in exactly the areas that would be most gratifying and most rewarding for each of you. And then number 3 is staying in the energy of trust, of being us, of being together, of being connected. Number 4 is learning the skills of repair. So basically what that means is being able to own your impact on each other, being able to take responsibility for how you may have hurt each other, even if it was inadvertent or something that was said in a moment of anger. The more simple you can keep it, the better. And then the better you're able to get to your own needs and wishes underneath the anger, the better your partner will be able to hear you and respond to you, rather than feeling defensive or attacked. So avoiding things like zero-sum battles or who's right or who's wrong, because that's irrelevant, right? Both people lose if that's sort of where you're coming from, because then nobody ever gets understood in the way that they're really yearning and needing to. So it's not about blaming or being right or being wrong. It's about having the space to hold both of your perspectives, both of your truths, and one doesn't negate or undo or cancel out the other person's perspective or experience. So repair is about making room for both of you, for both of your experiences and needs to exist alongside each other, rather than have one sort of override the other, or one partner needing to submit to the other partner. And repair really is about knowing how to move back towards each other rather than staying apart or turning away or withholding or shutting down. So that may still happen, and that's okay, but just notice if your tendency is to shut down. Oops, my earring's falling out. If your tendency is to shut down or to kind of stonewall or to feel like there's no point in trying to understand or in trying to listen or in trying to explain yourself, I really challenge you to notice that and choose a different response. So see if you can choose a different response next time and either come back towards your partner, or even you can just say, I'm not ready to talk about this right now, but it is important to me. I see you're hurt. Let's be deliberate about coming back to this, and you can let me know when a good time is, or you can make a suggestion or something like that, and really follow through. So repair is number 4. So I'm going to go through these again really quickly. So making room for discomfort. and knowing that those moments of discomfort, of being triggered, of being disappointed are all, natural, and it's part of being human. But number two, knowing that those are opportunities to really be very mindful about cultivating a connection that's true and deep and authentic and genuine. That is your opportunity here. I'd like to invite you to consider that those times where there's conflict or you're deeply hurt are those exact times when you could express or be seen in a new way, and learn to sort of rewire how you handle your own big feelings, and how well you're able to talk about what you need with your partner. Number three is holding on to an energy of trust and sort of recalibrating yourself if you find yourself blaming or attacking, or kind of triggering your partner so that you're now both triggering each other. I just want you to kind of take a step back, and you can even start over. And then number four is repair. So just owning the times where you may not be sensitive to your partner, or where you may have missed something, or you may have responded in a way that hurt them. The more you can do that, the more you'll actually be modeling to your partner how you would like to be treated. And you'll be setting yourselves up to have more respect for each other and for yourselves, and to really take each other's upsets seriously, and to see each other as a person that's safe to go to when you're hurt, as someone who can both help your partner and be helped by your partner when you're hurt. That's really important. And then avoiding blame, and maybe trying to shift that into curiosity and wonder about why your partner is hurt from their perspective. I know it's easier said than done, but repair is just so important. It's not about avoiding the arguments or the frustrations in the first place. That can help a little bit, but it's more about how we respond when we are angry, and how well we're able to identify the needs underneath our anger and disappointment, and trace it back to maybe something that was really important to us when we were growing up, or something we're extra sensitive about, and being able to communicate that to our partners in a way that is authentic and genuine and vulnerable, without attacking them or putting them down. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know which pieces resonate most for you. And if you're finding that any of these 4 areas are difficult for you, and you want my help really focusing on where you get stuck, where you and your partner get stuck, or maybe even where you get stuck within yourself. Some of you have told me, sometimes I find myself that I'm not in a place of wanting to repair or wanting to make things better. I get stuck in, anger or disappointment, or feeling like I'm just on my own and I don't even have the energy or the motivation to try to turn things around with my partner in those moments when I'm triggered. That could be something we could focus on. So I wanted to let you know that I'm opening 5 spots in my calendar for the rest of this month, for November, to invite you to do Rekindle Your Love mini intensive with me, where we could get to kind of look at your relationship, whether it's your relationship with yourself or with your partner or both, and see, are you able to handle big feelings when they come up? What do you need to feel really supported? What do you need to know that even if your partner doesn't get you in that moment, you're still cared for? You're still, your needs are still valid. They make sense, so that you can, hold on to a sense of feeling just good enough inside, right? So that you don't end up kind of triggering yourself, and going into a place where you feel, desperate, or just so angry that you would explode if you were to talk to your partner. That's one thing we can talk about. Or if you want to sort of map out some areas of your relationship that you feel would make a really big difference. Maybe it's about staying in the energy of being we, or being an us, rather than going into me versus you. That's something we could talk about. So there's lots of room and flexibility for us to really personalize our time together to you, to what the long-standing conflicts or arguments or disappointments are in your relationship, and we can even look and see, if we find any patterns or themes from how you grew up that might be carrying over into your relationship now, because awareness is huge. It can really shift things when we're more aware of what's triggering us. And sometimes partners can't really do that for each other. It's so much of this is not conscious, right? So those are some of the things we could talk about, and I'm really excited to to work with you, to support you. And if any of you have any comments or questions about what I covered here today, any concerns, anything you disagree with, let me know. I'd love to have a conversation with you about that and see, just see how this is all landing on you. I will go ahead and post that link so you can check out the Rekindle Your Love mini intensive and read more about it and see if it's a good fit. And if you're not sure, you're always welcome to reach out to me and let me know, and we can, I'm happy to tell you if I think it's not a good fit for you. I'm only interested in making sure that the people that I work with really are a good fit, and that you would get the most of our time together. So let me know if you have any questions. And then what else do I want to tell you? Yeah, I just think it's a wonderful opportunity. You can either participate on your own if your partner isn't really up for it, or together as a couple. So whatever works for you. And it's super easy to go ahead and book into my calendar and find a time that works well for you. I hold these mini intensive sessions virtually. If you live really far, or if you happen to live in New Jersey and you want to come in person, you're welcome to do that as well. All right, till next time, I look forward to hearing from all of you. Take care. Bye-bye.